It's been 2 years, it's been 2 years. Hey guys, this is Christy here. I just want to say I finally made it to 2 years being braid locked. I cannot believe it. Also, I cannot believe how many subscribers I have. Thank you so much to anybody who has subscribed, who has followed my braid lock journey. I really appreciate it, and I definitely don't say it enough. So thank you to all those who are subscribed and those who will subscribe. I really appreciate you, and I hope that I'm adding some value, that you're learning something from my braid lock journey. So with that being said, I wanted to put together 10 more things. I know I did one at the 1.5 year mark, but 10 things now that I'm like 2 years into this, like what you may experience, because these are things that I have been experiencing during my braid lock journey. I wanted to share it with you. So if you're interested in hearing more, please continue to watch, and also don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and yeah. So 2 years came and went in a flash, but here are the 10 things that may happen to you, that happened to me, that I'm like, okay, this is part of the journey, so this is what it is. So number one, your locks can and definitely will break off. Like, I'm dealing with like 4 broken locks right now that I'm like, okay, I guess this is part of the process. But if you think about it, like when people shed their hair, or like when people are letting go of hair normally when it's just out, it's kind of equivalent to the same thing, even though your lock is like broken in half, or it's like, okay, I guess my hair is not completely even. It's gonna have to be okay. But yeah, they definitely will break off. It's kind of like a normal part of the journey. I have found like little tiny pieces that have broken off, and I'll like kind of see them randomly in different places. I'm like, ooh. Okay, well, would you look at that? I was not expecting that, but okay. I will also want to share a little update. So when I first encountered my like broken lock, or lock that was thinning, I have a video where I tried the knotted lock. So you just like knot up your lock to where it kind of just looks like there's no thinning piece in it. And so that lock that I had definitely broke off. It is no longer there. I don't know when it left, but that the knotting method did not work for me. It may work for some of you, but I have seen that people are like, well, the knotting, it looks okay for a while, but it'll eventually break off, and that's exactly what happened with my hair. So don't be alarmed if you find little broken, tiny little pieces of locks around your hair, around your house, in your bed, on your pillow, while you're eating. No, I'm just kidding. Number 2, trying to repair a lock on my own doesn't necessarily work for me. Like some people make it seem so easy with a little crochet hook tool, and I have it too. I've tried it, and I don't know if it's that because my locks are thinner or smaller than some of them that they're repairing, but the lock that I repaired and tried on my own only lasted about 2.5 seconds. No, it probably lasted about like a week, and that was about it, and that was the end of its run. And so now I'm wondering, like, the people who get their hair and their locks repaired or get them put back on, are they actually staying? Are they falling off? Like, I feel like they're falling off, because mine definitely did. So yeah. Number 3, you will shed hair. I said this in the last video, but I just feel like there's no end to it. Like, I just find little pieces all over the place, like almost like eyelash length, or like, yeah, or eyebrow length, like type hairs. But since my hair is kinky coily, like, you know, there'll be like little circle, teeny tiny little, almost grossly pube like just long pubes. That's so gross. Ew. But yeah, you will find little tiny hairs. Well, at least I do. And I have heard from others that shedding doesn't necessarily stop, so you kind of have to get used to it. But I feel like I'm constantly sweeping, and I also don't know if it's because I'm always in my hair and touching my hair that little pieces are coming off. But that may be something that you experience as well. Number 4. If you're someone who interlocks your hair, you may interlock a couple locks together. So I have some conjoined, not some, I have one that's conjoined, and I kind of have it as a Siamese lock type situation. Now, I probably can try to do the crochet hook and like attach them together, but I just haven't tried to do that yet. Number 5, you may have locks that thin out. So I did also have a video where I was showing like how I dealt with my locks and the thinning, but it seems like I've had, since this whole journey, probably like I'd say like 6 locks that kind of thinned out in the middle of the lock. So the top will be fine, and then like here in the middle it'll get thin, and then here we'll have like a budding thicker piece, as you can kind of see here. But I feel like that's just kind of a part of the process, and you just kind of deal with it. I'm wondering, I think some of them that did thin out have kind of thickened up with time. So that's what I'm just gonna say now at this 2-year mark. You know, I'm no professional or anything, but this is just my experience with them. Number 6, I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but every time I like retwist, retighten my hair, my scalp just likes to get itchy. So even after I wash and I condition and I retie my hair, I will wash my hair probably like a day after or a couple days after, because it's like this insatiable itch, you know what I'm saying? I just be like, oh my gosh, I can't live. I'm just playing, that's very extra, but no, my scalp will be very itchy, and so I'll just wash it again and it'll be fine. I guess it could also be like I haven't retwisted or done anything really much to my hair in a couple months, and now that I'm like bringing the hair to my scalp's like, I'm not breathing as much as I was doing before. I don't know, maybe that's what's happening. Number 7, your locks will grow, bloom, and blossom on their own terms. So don't expect yourself to have these locks that are totally even, totally equal, because you saw some other beautiful luscious lock lady or male whose locks are just like perfectly even or whatever. That's not necessarily the case. Well, at least with me, I have locks that are like all different shapes and sizes and do whatever they want. So just be careful with that, because sometimes you can have this lock and be like, my locks don't look like that, like they weren't supposed to, and they're growing at different parts. And then, you know, you have different sections of your hair that are different textures, so you're gonna have these different varying locks, and that's okay, and be okay with that. Like, that's just your hair doing its thing. It's like, this is me doing what I want to do. Let me live, bruh. Number 8, what I have found with these locks as well is not all of your locks, even at the 2-year mark, may have crossed completely over to being like a lock without seeing a braid. So I have 4 locks in the front, and I'll show you. Oof, the freedom of no ponytail feels great. I have quite a few locks. It's like 4 of them that still are showing the braids. We have this Exhibit A right here. It's just right here at the base. There's still a braid here. Let me see. This one, you can still kind of see the braid pattern as well, just at the bottom. And then we have here is still a braid there. Oh, this one is really like a braid here from the bottom down, and a braid higgity here. Okay, and it makes sense to me because the top of my head, actually I have like a looser, it's a looser curl pattern. It's almost like I have just like weird straight crink. I don't know. Even after these 2 years, you may not find that all your locks look just like completed, covered up locks, and that's okay. I knew going into this process that it wasn't going to, or that I probably wasn't going to see my locks look completely just like locks until a few years down, because I had seen some other folks saying that it had taken them longer. But I knew with my hair texture, it's a little more frizzy, poofier, so I wasn't too worried about it, but I knew it would be a part of the process. So that could be something that you look into. Or with yours, if your hair is just like, it just grows out and it's not very frizzy or poofy, you may still have that braid for the rest of your life. Like, sometimes the braid is not necessarily good for your hair. What may be best for you is a twist or just starting as a palm row. But that's, up to you and kind of knowing your hair. Number 9. Now this one was kind of tough for me to accept because I like to basically keep things more on the natural side and not really put much in my hair. But like, I have learned that oils, just water and oils, do not work for me. It may work for some, but for me, my hair be like, what? No, I don't want that. So I have found that I can't be putting all kind of different type of mixed oils in my hair. It doesn't work. My hair just feels really crunchy and brittle, and like I feel like it actually adds to breakage. And for some that can work, but for me it just doesn't work, and I have to accept it. So what I do is I'm still trying to figure out like a perfect mix of what works best, but I have found I'm liking this. I'll just put water, conditioner, a squeegee little bitty drops of conditioner, and then also a little bit of olive oil, and I'll spray that on my hair, and that works well. Or I'll just do water, aloe, and a little bit of olive oil, which I like that as well. But I'll put in a little squeegee of conditioner, but it works well for me. So it may not work well for you, but that's what I found kind of works for me. Don't be like, oh, I'm doing this lock journey, so I need to just be completely natural. And granted, the shampoos and conditioners and stuff I use, they're relatively natural, or more on the natural side. That's just, my body's sensitive and skin is sensitive anyways, but like, that's what I tend to gravitate towards. But if your hair responds well to Pantene or whatever the heck it responds well to, use it and don't feel some type of way about it. Do be careful with thicker products because it'll leave residue on your hair. So that's something to look out for. But do what's best for you, what works best for your hair. You know how it feels, like what makes it feel good. Or maybe you don't, but you're gonna have to like do the trial and error, which I have had to do. And even before I got my hair locked, my hair would be finicky with the products that I use. So when your hair gets used to stuff, I would have to switch up the product and try things all over again. So it's kind of the same-ish type thing, and it's okay. It's okay, but it's still very low maintenance. It's so much less time consuming, just so much more freeing to have my locks like this. And I think like anytime I feel like, man, I miss my natural hair, I think about how long it would take me to do my hair, how even though I have my hair natural my whole life, like the wrong environment, if I get it straightened one time, it starts breaking off, and then next thing you know, my hair is back to square one, as short as it was before. It was just this continual cycle. So now I'm finally at the length of my hair where I would say essentially this is where it mostly was when I was straightening my hair. So going forward, I'm excited to see how much length I will see retained from me just letting it be. We'll see. Hopefully it'll continue to grow and just keep going and not like stay short like it did when I would just wear my hair natural. So yeah. And lastly, number 10. I feel like this video is long, but I want it to be informative as well, so I apologize. You may not be able to keep your hands out your hair. I don't know what it is, but I am always in my hair feeling it, like, ooh, like what's going on in here? How is it feeling? Like I'm very aware of what's going on with my hair. Now another part of me is like, I don't know if that's me just being anxious and like always touching and feeling my hair, but I truly like, I'm like, ooh, this is my hair, this is my locks. Wow. So it's been kind of cool to like experience this and like just let my hair be and not be too worried about what the heck I'm gonna do with it. I just literally am like, oh, I can't keep my hands out of it. But then I'll be careful with that too, because that could also be adding to like a little bit of shedding and stuff. So just letting it be and be free is, I'm sure, the more normal and healthy thing to do. But it is really challenging for me to keep my hands out of my hair. So with that being said, that was number 10. I want to thank you so much again for all of my subscribers. I thank you for the new subscribers and anyone who's liked and shared and commented on the video. I really enjoy the community, the camaraderie of like us sharing about our locks and being asked questions about the process, and really I enjoy being able to help in the best way that I can. Granted, it's only been 2 years, but I love being supportive, and I thank you all for supporting, and also for supporting me, but also giving me the opportunity to support you and help you along your journey as well. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. So I really wanted to show y'all my conjoined lock, but I cannot find it. I think I might have cut it. And it sounds about right, like I could have been like, I can't take this no more. And I might have cut it and just turned it into one. So I'm sorry, I can't show you that one because I cut it and it's fine.